Welcome back to Taylor's Detroit Sports Page. I'm your host, Taylor Phillips. I'm going to talk about the lowly Detroit Red Wings now, because they just can't get a win at all. Now, anywhere, not just at home, but just if you want to call in as a guest or a fan with an opinion or a co-host or whatever, the number is 646-478-4837. Again, that's 646-478-4837. I am at least trying to simulcast on YouTube. My YouTube is via Google. Taylor Phillips is the username for it. You can also search me on Facebook, Taylor Phillips, on LinkedIn, Taylor Phillips, Facebook page Taylor Phillips's Detroit Sports Page, and in a group Taylor Phillips's Detroit Sports Group, and mention me on Twitter at DT2Phillips. And also comment your opinions in this little chat window here on this website, blogtalkradio.com, on tonight's podcast. Okay. The laundry list of problems continues to grow for the Red Wings. This past week, they started after giving up overtime goals. They decided to start losing in shootouts, and it starts where else? At home. I know, they're a disaster. First off, they lose to the Jets 3-2 in a shootout, and then they blew a 3-1 lead and lose 4-3 to the Capitals last night. And the Jets game was on Tuesday. Both the first two games were at home. And then the Red Wings finally went on the road to play the New York Islanders, and it was another crazy game, I might say, but the Red Wings were able to manage to tie the game at 4 with courtesy of Pavel Datsyuk on a backhander, hitting an Islander in front of the net and trickled past Poland. I think that was with 48.2 to go. That's actually 42.8 to go in the third period. That goal came in at 19:17 in the third period. But their shootout struggles continue. So do their overtime woes. The Red Wings are now 1-7 in overtime this season. The Islanders improved to 3-5 in overtime. I really don't agree with any of it. Nobody does. We all don't. Frans Nielsen was the first shooter of the shootout, and he scored the only goal in that shootout. The shooters were Zetterberg, Datsyuk, and Bertuzzi. Jonas Gustafsson was in net tonight because they were playing back-to-back games. gave up 4 goals of his own tonight. Not only is the goaltending a disaster, but also the defense. The Red Wings are just falling apart. Every time, as of late, every time they've had a lead, they blew it with the same stupid defensive mistake. Whether they're young or just too old or just too stupid to even play in the National Hockey League, when they don't even realize what league they're playing in. Take Kyle Quincy, for example. How about Jonathan Ericsson? Huh? Justin Abdelkader, Jakob Kindl. They're starting to grow out of their youth. But I just don't get why they keep making stupid mistakes for the past 2 or 3 years. I know what you're saying constantly. Give them more time. Got to give them more time. Repeat. I'm starting not to believe you guys anymore. I am starting not to believe any of the Red Wing fans that make up the same old stupid excuses. And their payroll is too low too. To make a move to recall Gustav Nyquist up to the Wings and from the Griffins, and as well as Tomas Jurko. I mean, they're good. They're actually good. And if anybody was following DetroitSportsRag.com's Facebook page, ripping Gustav Nyquist, just forget about it. Don't worry about it. No need to worry. Gustav Nyquist has recorded points, especially assists. He's a team player. Sometimes he needs to score goals, sometimes he doesn't need to. But Jurko, he has never been called up into the NHL. Sometimes money is not an excuse. You have to call him up. And you never did. He's got about the same awesome moves as Pavel Datsyuk, and even a bit more dazzling than Datsyuk does. And we could use him too, because right now, even Datsyuk, Zetterberg, and Bertuzzi just can't score in the shootout. You know why? Because they're not deking good enough. They need to deke better. Datsyuk is not even deking in the shootout at all. I keep seeing that constantly. Just shoot it right at the goaltender. That's just not going to get it done, period. That's not going to get you any goals if you shoot it right at the goaltender. No matter how many shots you put on goal, it's just not going to work. And I'm going to keep saying that billions and billions of times until you start seeing for yourself unless you start shaking shot locations up a bit. Start sniping for a change. And you know, make even more deeks if you have to. Try to confuse the goaltender more. Bertuzzi in the shootout was trying to do too much, especially with his spinorama moves. His last one against Holtby in the shootout. Man, he spun way too early, and Holtby was really ready for it. He just poke checked that shot away, that shot attempt away. And it is the goaltender's job too, which is really frustrating and upsetting to me. That I was thinking, like, for the last few years, that in the shootout and in the penalty shot as well, that the goaltender should not be allowed to poke check the puck. You have to let the player shoot. You have to let the shooter shoot the puck. That's what the shootout's all about. It doesn't matter if the goaltender is in his own crease. He can't just reach out there and poke check the puck away from the shooter's stick. That wouldn't be fair. The Wings are just not capitalizing in overtime or in the shootout anymore. Just one overtime win. Ever since that one win in overtime against the Carolina Hurricanes down south, just at the base at the Atlantic Ocean in Raleigh, North Carolina, they have done nothing in overtime or in the shootout. They are like 0-4 in the shootout. That's their exact record. And the Red Wings are 1-3 in non-shootout overtime. Now, this latest loss in New York makes the Islanders 6-0-1 against the Red Wings since 2005. Things just keep getting worse for the Wings because of themselves, not just the Islanders or any other opponent, any other opposing team. No matter what kind of mistakes they make, whether it's a penalty or an icing on a delayed penalty coming up to an opposing team, which I saw Tuesday against the Jets, which could have started a 5-on-3 in the offensive zone instead of outside the offensive zone at the blue line. So we are just halfway through this show. 15 and a half gone by. So looking at the standings, the Red Wings have 25 points in a three-way tie for second place in the Atlantic Division, with the Boston Bruins, the defending Eastern Conference champions, and the Toronto Maple Leafs, who just beat the Buffalo Sabres tonight 4-2. The Bruins had off. Other scores: the Rangers shut out the Canadiens 1-0. The Devils beat the Penguins 4-1 in New Jersey. The Blues beat the Hurricanes 4-2. The Predators routed the defending Stanley Cup champion Chicago Blackhawks, our arch rivals, 7-2. And right now the Oilers just tied the game with the Calgary Flames at the Pengrowth Saddledome. 11 left in the third, tied at 2. And so back to and for the Islanders, they are now in a tie with the Devils with 19 points. They both won today, and therefore are still tied for fifth place with 19 points in the Metropolitan Division. So again, as I mentioned before, the Wings organization's payroll is low. Ken Holland, the Wings general manager, says we don't have enough money. They don't have enough money to call up Gustav Nyquist. But are willing to make another roster move. But they definitely can't afford to trade anybody or to another team or unconditionally release them. So the only thing they can do is just keep this roster stuck at where it is right now, and if this team keeps losing like this in any way, shape, or form in this economically mess of a situation, then I would suggest and desperately beg their owner, Mike Ilitch, to sell the Detroit Red Wings. I mean, it's just not fair anymore. The Wings don't have enough money to make any moves. No trades, no releases, no call-ups, no options. Except the fact that they can waive players. They waived Jordan Tutu a week ago. Now they recently waived Patrick Eaves. They both cleared waivers and will play and are playing in Grand Rapids, I assume. At least I know Tutu is playing for Grand Rapids. I can tell I just got an article from the Grand Rapids Griffins Facebook page and their website. And right now the contents just don't seem to be showing in that article. In that article. Let me try the home page. Tonight the Wings, before their loss, recalled Luke Glendening from the Griffins. Let me check the Griffins schedule here. And there are no articles now, but I could look up the roster. I can go ahead and look up the Griffins roster. I think it'd be much easier that way. Oh yeah, there's Patrick Eaves. He is number 9 on the Griffins team. He's a Calgary, Alberta native, in case nobody knew that. In case some people didn't know that. So both Tutu and Eaves are on the Griffins team indeed. It's confirmed, folks. Because, again, they both cleared waivers. So, I'm going to go ahead and look at the next games here for this upcoming week. The Red Wings have 3 home games. What do you know? First 2 of them start at 7:30, the other one at 7. Tuesday they host the Predators on Fox Sports Detroit Plus. Thursday they host the Hurricanes, who they beat in overtime in Game 2, season game number 2. That's at 7:30 at the Joe. And then the Red Wings rematch with the Ottawa Senators at the Joe, 7 o'clock. The Red Wings are going to try to return the favor, or at least after getting round of the first meeting, 6-1. The Red Wings will try to return that favor at the maximum, or at least get a win, get some revenge any way, shape, or form. They just got to win. Period. Just win or disappear. That's all I ask. All we ask, all we demand is for you to win. You're the Detroit Red Wings. That's what you're. And winning is what you're supposed to do. Just like in the old years, in the late 90s to the late 2000s, through the 08 Cup Championship season. You won the Cup without Steve Yzerman and Brendan Shanahan and Fedorov in '08. You still had to win it with Nicholas Lidstrom and Tomas Holmstrom and Dominic Hasek and Dallas Drake and Chris Osgood and also Draper, Maltby, and even McCarty and Chelios. But ever since they lost that cup in '09, man, that's just demoralizing. They have come up nothing short, or they have come up well short of the cup. The closest they could come was in the second round. They've reached the second. They only reached the second round 3 times out of 4, and they lost to in the first round of the Predators 2 years ago. 2 seasons ago. Since '09, it's been a disaster. It has. And I hope this drought that the Wings are, this whole drought that the Wings are going through since that time, teaches what a lot of people, including myself, call the spoiled Red Wings fans a very good hard lesson that winning championship dynasties like that can't go on forever. It's just not good at all. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. 2 minutes left on the show. That's about all the time I have for this Red Wings edition of Taylor's Detroit Sports Show. Tomorrow night at 1 a.m. I just rescheduled it. Used to be at midnight. Now it's going to be at 1, just for tomorrow night's edition. Because the Pistons are going to start against the Lakers at 10:30 or 9:30 if you prefer.
90 seconds.
But I will cover the Pistons. Big win in Sacramento. I'm going to go over that the very next night. Until then, this is Taylor Phillips signing off for now. TTFN, ta-ta for now.